Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, it's the last game of the round, the Anzac Day clash between Collingwood and Essendon, and going through who went really well. Well, who went really well? No surprise, it's the Daicos brothers again. And Nick Daicos is running away with this competition, especially with all the suspensions to the key midfielders. So he basically has the Brownlow wrapped up if he continues on anywhere close to this performance. So before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. And let's switch across here. So as you can see, Daicos smacked his break even again, 81 break even. I don't know if that was technically last round or not because the lockout has lifted, etc., and new break evens have been applied. So that could quite easily be his break even for the next game going off him. 122 average, I believe that's right because he had a 118 beforehand, and a lowest quarter of 33, so uber consistent throughout the quarters. I mean, he had 38 after 17 minutes, then decided not to do anything and rest for the final 15 minutes of the first. You know, a lot of his scores are actually not even coming in red time, which is really, really good to see that he's getting his scores early, and means that if he really needed to, he could go huge and get those 50, 60 point quarters that we all want him to get, I guess. The only downside of him at the moment is pretty much everyone has him, or a lot of the comp has him captaincy, or vice captaincy when they play early, even though they seem to be playing last game of the round constantly. So basically means that even if you have his score, that any score that he has with the amount of captaincy, it's almost like he's over 100% owned. So you almost lose points by him doing well, but you need to have him with the way he's playing at the moment. You have Sidebottom second top scored with a 126, quite surprising considering he had an 8-point quarter, but I don't expect him to consistently do this, only averaging 86. Josh Daicos again putting in a huge effort in the final three quarters to get, 91 in the final three? Yeah, 91, 17-point first. And yeah, a lot of his scores, again, not except for this this effort here in the last, in over 30 minutes, a lot of his scores are coming in the before the red time, so it's really, really good for him. De Goey, again, 95 average, scored 99, he's a decent pick, but there's better options out there at that price, I think. And for example, I think Will Day is just a more consistent guy and will score better and won't have those 65 and then a 125 type games, whereas De Goey has the tendency to be able to have a 60-pointer. Mitchell, a good score again from him, but not living up to what I'd hoped from him pre-season, so good. Glad that I didn't jump on him. Noble, 91, huge effort from him in the second half to save his score, a 68-point second half. Maynard, I thought was pretty good throughout the whole day. Pendlebury, I thought was on for the Anzac Day medal if it was actually going to be close between him and Daicos, because Daicos had 2 goals in the last term that really sealed it. But I thought Pendlebury was on for the Anzac Day medal until he got the free kick here, I think it was. I think he got injured here. And that pretty much meant that he was a no-show in the final quarter because he just had injuries. And then you have Crisp here, Frampton, McCreary, I thought was really good in the last quarter, as you can see in his score. And then you got Markov, Moore, not really anyone too interesting. No real rookies for Collingwood, so let's move on to Essendon's. And no 100-point scorers, so that was really good for me to see. Setterfield only 86. He had a good end to the game of in the final 4.5 minutes he scored 15, so he really pumped up his score. Redmond, and then you have Langford here. Redmond here. I don't know how this guy still gets a game. Honestly, the amount of, if I'm actually going to go onto the AFL website here and look at the game that he had, because it was one of the worst. I thought he was one of the worst on grounds yet. If you look at my, as you can probably tell from my Twitter, but if you look at also on there, you could see that someone actually got put him down as the best on ground, like 1 vote. Whereas if you look here, 6 turnovers, 1 clanger, If we look at advanced stats here, you'll see disposal efficiency. We have here, McGrath was sitting at 80%, so that's better. Redmond sitting at 78.3%, but if we look at his disposals, I want to say disposals, it's probably better here because he will come up quicker. 540 meters gained for 18 kicks. I can tell you right now that's probably at least 10 kicks that were counted as effective disposals, but they were pretty much all turnovers. I think he even caused 3 or 4 goals off his turnovers alone. When McGrath was literally sitting there in space, McGrath got burnt at least 10 to 15 times from not Setterfield, from Shiel and Redmond alone. And it was just an easy 20-meter kick to McGrath, who would have more space so that it isn't just a direct one kick back into the 50 to goal. It would have to be a 40-meter kick to about the 30-meter mark, and someone takes a mark and goals from there. It isn't just a one handball out of a contested mark situation, and then someone runs to the 50 and goals, which happened at least 2 or 3 times, or someone was able to run to the 50, get a shot, and it was basically back to the goal line where it had started. And that's something I think pretty much lost Essendon the game, was their inability to get it out of the back line. If we look here, team stats, I just want to see. So probably 64 inside 50s to 45. They had the free kicks in their favour, hit-outs in their favour. If we look here, turnovers, 8 more turnovers to Collingwood, and Collingwood were just more efficient. And then Collingwood had a lot more marks as well. Marks inside 50 as well. Contested marks were pretty even. So yeah, it just is all telling that Essendon decided to just try and boot it out of their backline. They had no composure to hit up the guy on the small lead. Take 2 or 3 20-meter kicks equals 1 50-meter kick. So I don't know why they tried to always just boot it 50 meters to a contested mark situation. Maybe they emphasise the fact that Collingwood have no ruckman, but that didn't work, as both, where is he, Draper, and also Draper here, 79, had an alright game, but Phillips, again, 43, not the best game. Those guys didn't have good games, and we saw Frampton and Ash Johnson, wherever he is, 56, have alright games. So that's Redmond. Draper had an alright game. Perkins got the goal that they needed for a lot of his multis. He's now 6 for 6 with that. Caldwell had a good first and last quarter, nothing in between. Wiedemann, a good start but a bad finish, and same can be said about Ash McGrath. He had a bad game, but I mean, I need to get rookies off ground, so he's somehow holding another week unless Himmelberg is named in the back line, which will probably mean that McGrath goes, as I can get McGrath to Day and also get Mackenzie up to Himmelberg. And then Shiel had another bad game, like just efficiency-wise was bad. Heppel, Ridley, Martin, Snelling, Kelly, and Laverde's injured again, so that might help McGrath in terms of him getting more of the ball, but I doubt it given what happened in the second half when Laverde was out. Hobbs, Zerk, Thatcher, and yeah, so that's basically it. But I just want to go off to this website and go kick-ins to look at, where are they? It's Essendon 2023, and we see Ridley 6 out of 6, Redmond 5 out of 5, and McGrath 1 out of 1. So McGrath lost 2, and it was picked up by Redmond basically. And yeah, so McGrath's not getting the kickouts, but he always runs it out. And yeah, so I just don't understand what's going on with that, to be honest, and why they're being so inefficient out of their backline, I should say, and how Redmond is almost single-handedly costing them 4 or 5 goals a game, and basically making them it almost an unwinnable situation for Essendon. So we'll see how they perform next week. I mean, Essendon have got, let me check here, Essendon have got Geelong. They'll probably lose that, so that might be helpful for McGrath. He's just going to get a lot of the ball, I think, being in the back line. So that's a good, that should help him. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.